1. The roots. Memphis before the storm. Memphis in the early 2010s wasn't just a city, it was a pressure cooker for rap talent. The streets had legends like 3 6 Mafia, 8 Ball, and MJG, Project Pat. But the king of the current wave was Yo Gotti. By then, Gotti had spent over a decade grinding from trap CDs out the trunk to Billboard placements. He was street certified, industry respected, and the de facto face of Memphis rap. Young Dolph? He was the new kid on the block, but not young in experience. Dolph had already survived getting kicked out of his family's house at 17, hustling his way through the streets and funding his own music grind without a major label. He wasn't trying to be the next Gotti. He was trying to be the first young Dolph. At first, there wasn't an ounce of animosity. In interviews, Dolph openly credited Gotti as one of the people who showed him the ropes from afar. He's one of the reasons Memphis rap got eyes on it, Dolph once said. To Dolph, the idea of Gotti was bigger than just rap. It was about someone making it out of Memphis and still repping the city hard. Then came the call. According to Street Talk, and later confirmed in interviews, Gotti reached out with an offer. Join CMG, Collective Music Group, the label Gotti built from the ground up. For most Memphis rappers, that's like being handed a golden ticket. CMG wasn't just a label, it was a movement. Signing meant features, bigger budgets, tour slots, and automatic street validation. But here's where things took a turn. Dolph said no. Now, in the regular business world, turning down a deal is just part of the game. In Memphis rap politics, that's like rejecting an invitation from the Godfather. And Dolph's refusal wasn't just a quiet nah. He doubled down on being independent, publicly saying he didn't need to sign to blow up. He wanted to own everything, masters, publishing, and his brand. From that moment, the air between them got heavy. To make things worse, Dolph dropped a mixtape called King of Memphis in 2016. And yeah, the title alone was gasoline on the fire. For Gotti, who had been calling himself King of Memphis for years, this wasn't just a mixtape. It was a challenge, a public, loud, billboard-sized challenge. And in Memphis, challenges don't just fade into the background, they get answered. This is where the respect turned into a cold war. Subliminals in songs, industry insiders whispering about who's dissing who, and street-level tension that you could feel if you were in the right neighborhoods. From the outside, fans thought it was just competition, but behind the scenes, the seeds of one of hip-hop's deadliest beefs had been planted. The diss tracks. No more subliminals. No more polite industry smiles. Dolph decided to go full send on Yo Gotti, and he didn't tiptoe into it either. The track? Play Wit Yo B. The title alone told you Dolph wasn't pulling punches, but the lyrics? That was a public humiliation session set to a beat. Dolph wasn't just talking about rap supremacy. He went straight for the ego. He claimed Gotti was jealous of his come-up, said he was the real boss of Memphis now, and in one of the most disrespectful moves in hip-hop beef history, he brought up Gotti's baby mama, and he didn't just mention her. Dolph painted a picture in the listener's head, an entire narrative that made people stop mid-scroll and say, wait, he said what? The song went viral. In the streets, at the clubs, online, you couldn't escape it. Folks were quoting lines in Instagram captions, DJs were spinning it at block parties just to watch the crowd go crazy. Dolph had dropped a lyrical nuke, and Memphis was officially split in half. But here's the thing about Memphis. When you disrespect someone that personally, the response doesn't always come in a song. Gotti, known for being calculated, stayed silent on wax. He didn't take the bait directly. Instead, the counterattack came from his camp. Enter Black Youngsta. At the time, Black Youngsta was CMG's young gun, wild, unpredictable, and itching for action. And when Dolph dissed Gotti, Black treated it like someone just slapped his big brother in the face. He jumped in head first, turning Instagram into his personal war room. We're talking shirtless videos with the chain out, screaming into the camera, calling Dolph everything under the sun, and pulling up in Dolph's hood with stacks of cash just to make a point. It wasn't subtle. It was pure theater, mixed with real-life tension. Then came Shake Some, Black Youngsta's own diss track. And while it didn't hit as hard lyrically as Play Wit Yo B, the delivery was pure Memphis aggression. It was Youngsta throwing gasoline on the fire Dolph had started, and fans were eating it up like it was a heavyweight boxing match. But Dolph wasn't done, not even close. After rumors swirled about him being targeted in a Charlotte shooting, we'll get into that later, he doubled down with an entire concept album called Bulletproof. And this wasn't just any album. The track list itself spelled out an entire sentence aimed at his enemies. I'm talking the actual titles of the songs connected to form a diss message. Nobody had ever done it quite like this. And then, 100 shots. This one was more than a song, it was a declaration. A grim, taunting response to real-life gunfire. Dolph stood in front of a mic, rapped about surviving 100 rounds, and basically dared whoever was after him to do better next time. The sheer audacity of that made the streets buzz even louder. By now it was clear, Dolph wasn't just playing chess, he was flipping the board and laughing about it. But the problem with making everything a public spectacle, you're not just entertaining fans, you're escalating real-life situations. And in Memphis, when things escalate past a certain point, the music is only the soundtrack. The shootings. When rap lyrics turned into police reports by 2017, the young Dolph versus Yo Gotti beef wasn't just about music anymore. It was about survival. Up until now, everything had been contained in the world of rap. Diss tracks, Instagram rants, subliminal jabs. But then Charlotte happened. It was February, CIAA tournament weekend, the kind of event where rappers, ballers, and street legends all hit the same city. Dolph was moving like any other artist at the top of his game, big SUV, team with him, a few stops on the schedule. But then the calm broke. His Cadillac Escalade, fully loaded, high-end, jet black, was hit with over 100 rounds of gunfire, not one or two warning shots. We're talking war zone levels of ammunition. Witnesses said it sounded like 4th of July fireworks on steroids. Shell casings littered the ground. And here's the wild part. Dolph walked away without a scratch. Turns out he wasn't just riding in style, he was riding in a bulletproof tank, the kind of investment most rappers laugh at until they need it. That truck took 100 rounds like it was swatting flies. What did Dolph do next? Did he lay low? Did he issue a statement calling for peace? Nah, he turned it into art. A month later, he dropped a mixtape called Bulletproof. The track list? It wasn't just song titles. It was a full sentence aimed at whoever sprayed his car. 1. 100 shots. 2. In Charlotte. 3. But I'm bulletproof. 4. So fuck him. 5. That's how I feel. 6. I pray for my enemies. 7. I'm so real. 8. That's how I feel. Part 2. It was rap pettiness at its pettiest and its most dangerous. He wasn't just rapping about surviving, he was mocking the shooters for failing. And in the streets, that's like daring someone to try again. September 2017. Hollywood. Middle of the day. Dolph is walking near the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel when an argument breaks out between him and 3 men. Witnesses say it got heated, and before anyone could step in, shots rang out. Dolph was hit multiple times, including in the arm. He survived again. He was rushed into surgery, and by the next week, he was back on social media, grinning like nothing happened. Rumors immediately swirled that this was connected to the Memphis beef. Black Youngsta's name came up in police chatter, as did other CMG affiliates. Youngsta was even arrested and charged in connection to the Charlotte shooting earlier that year, but the charges were eventually dropped. And just like before, Dolph didn't name names. Gotti didn't name names. The streets, though, they had plenty to say. Memphis was buzzing with theories. Some said it was straight retaliation. Others whispered that it wasn't even about rap, that there were deeper street ties and long-standing grudges that the public never saw. Fast forward to November 17th, 2021. It's just another day in Memphis. Dolph is home, moving how he always moved. No security detail, just himself, stopping by local businesses he supported. One of those was Makita's homemade butter cookies, a small family bakery he'd been visiting for years. The story still doesn't sit right with people because it's so mundane. Dolph pulled up to buy cookies for his mother. While inside, 2 armed men pulled up in a white Mercedes, opened fire, and killed him in broad daylight in his own city. The footage, blurred and grainy, hit the internet within hours. 2 men with masks, guns drawn, and an escape that looked planned to the second. Memphis didn't just lose a rapper that day. It lost someone who had donated turkeys to families every Thanksgiving given back to schools, and served as a walking example of making it out without selling your soul to a label. The city was shook. The industry mourned. Artists from every coast posted tributes. Yo Gotti? Silent. His social media went dark for a while. No posts, no interviews, no statements. Whether it was out of respect, legal caution, or just not wanting to pour gas on an inferno, we may never know. Multiple arrests have been made in connection to Dolph's murder, including individuals with ties to Memphis gangs. But the conspiracy theories haven't stopped. Some say it was strictly street politics. Others believe the independence Dolph championed, owning masters, speaking freely about label deals, made him a target bigger than just Memphis. What's undeniable is that this beef went far beyond music. From diss tracks to shootouts to a murder that left an entire city grieving, Young Dolph versus Yo Gotti is one of the most tragic rap rivalries in modern history. Because unlike other beefs that end with a truce or a collab track, this one ended with a casket and more questions than answers. So, what do you think? Was this just a rap rivalry that spiraled out of control? Did Dolph poke the bear too hard, or was he targeted for going independent and speaking his truth in a game built on control? Drop your theories in the comments and make sure you're subscribed because next up, we've got WizKid versus DeVito and then Nipsey Hussle's fight against the industry machine. Fake famous, we out.